paper is certainly warmer than what we're seeing on our external probe. And we don't want to get to that 44 degrees where we actually destroy collagen. We want to just melt bonds and get remodeling. So generally in this section I do 10 to 15 pulses, depends on the patient, and so we'll do one more in here. And that should be pretty good. You can see the pinkness. On this side. Okay. Again, you can feel the temperature. You certainly will feel the skin quite warm to touch. And you can see there's a pretty even pinkness to the skin, so you're really getting and feeling that. I know from experience that's going to be at about 39, 40 degrees. When I want to do a smaller area, especially if I'm using this small tip smoothie for over the lip, upper lip or under the eyes, then I usually decrease my pulse length to about 8.5 and take the joules down to about 100, which is a somewhat comparable setting. The reason is the area is so small. You want to be able to do a very small still motion technique in a small area. You usually have a shorter pulse. It's just a lot easier to manage. And then you can reposition to a new area and not get too hot on the skin before you need to go to your next pulse. So those are my settings for the small tip smoothie, doing upper lip and under the eyes. And under the eyes is the same thing. I try to break it into two sections, but I usually find that you have to really keep moving. You can turn a wee bit so he can see a little better. And so we'll do a pulse under the eyes, and it's just the same idea. And usually I can deliver 5 pulses per side. And it's just a question of how quickly do you move, depends on how much they feel it and how much you see the pinkness come up. And it's almost as predictable as it can possibly be, is that by pulse 5 you'll see some redness and they'll tell you of some warmth. How you doing there?
I'm feeling just a little warm.
Yeah, so she's starting to feel that warmth, so we can start doing a little bit more. She's pretty good, so we can do kind of this area, a couple more pulses, and the more energy the better. We're still getting something right over that lower eyelid and lower orbit area, not actually into the orbit, but just below on that. Again, where the loose skin tends to sit in that tear trough. And this can be done, really helps with people that do fillers here, because that really increases the amount of tightness over that skin. Over the filler just gives them an even better result. They don't see through the skin as much. It's actually giving them a little bit thicker skin there. Just that denser collagen on that thin skin just really helps cover or smooth out those lines and cover that venous pool that we all have. So you can certainly see that there's some redness and see the smoothing. These lines that were over here are literally gone. And then we'd repeat the same process on the other eye.
The way I felt about my appearance before the treatment was that my skin was starting to sag a bit. I felt it in my lower jaws, around my mouth. My mouth was starting to droop, and I felt a little skin in through here starting to begin to appear the way I didn't like it. So that's one of the reasons why I went to the skin tightening. My husband is quite younger than I am, and he's my first and only husband, and it's always been a challenge for me to continuously keep up with my aging process because I love him so much and I always want to look good for him. And so the more that I can do to keep up my aging process, to slow it down for my husband and for myself, the better I feel about it. And he remarks about it all the time. He likes the way I look, and he'll always kind of joke with me a little bit and tell the doctor, go ahead, rev it up a little bit more. I've had 2 types of treatment of the skin tight. In the beginning, when I had it done, it was held to one area until a certain amount of heat came, and very uncomfortable, and then moved on. I found this treatment to be quite uncomfortable and something that I wasn't too sure about doing, but because of vanity, I sometimes want to just say, all right, I'll do it. But when the doctor started doing a movement treatment on my face, it suddenly became much more comfortable. The heat was there. I could feel it at some tiny points, but it was always, always comfortable. After receiving the treatment, I could walk out of the office without any redness. The results were immediate. I could look in the mirror and see right away that I saw a difference, although subtle, a difference. And then as the days progressed, I could feel, knowing that, the treatment was actually working from below in the dermis area, that as the days went by, things were looking better and better, and I could actually see my skin improving as the weeks went by. The skin tightening treatment that I'm doing, I recommend to so many people. I have friends of mine talking about quick little plastic surgeries that they want to have done to tighten it up, and they ask me what I do, and I definitely recommend this treatment to as many people as I can, especially if they want to stay away from surgery and do something non-invasive on their skin. The way I feel about my skin tightening results is that they've been working for me, and I'm slowing the aging process, which is something that I wanted to do, and I'm feeling so much better about myself and knowing that this is a healthy treatment that is quick and comfortable, and again, like I said, no downtime, which for me is great because I'm always on the run.
One of the facts of life is that over time, your skin loses its elasticity. As a result, you can look older than you feel, older than you want to look.
In my mid-40s, and I didn't mind being of that age, but I really didn't want to look it. Wanted to look on the outside like I feel on the inside, which is much younger.
I just wanted to look a little better. I was taking care of my body, eating right, and I was bothered by my jawline just not being really firm, and I had one of my eyelids felt like it was drooping more than the other, and I was just getting a lot of sagginess in my neck, and I wanted to see what was available, and I didn't want to do anything invasive. I knew that.
At my age now, I feel that the neckline, the jawline is sagging, It's not as firm, it's not as taut. And even though